Good morning, CGX fans. We're coming into the final stretch on that Rolife Arcade Dating booknook, so let's take a look at where things stand. And here we are with the Arcade Dating booknook. We've got one exterior wall in place. The structure is pretty much finished. Got a couple of roof trusses on, and the lighting fixtures installed. Curiously enough, the instructions want me to basically assemble the roof and more of the outer walls before we go on to wiring the LEDs. I would have expected they would wire it first. That's how I would have designed it, but I didn't design it, so we'll carry on as they say. Oh, incidentally, this here is the pile of empty parts templates, so that's pretty exciting. We've used nearly all the parts at this point, other than the remaining exterior bits. So, progress. That's pretty exciting. Let's get the camera mounted and get to work. All right, before I get started, I just want to note there's a construction site across the street from my house, and they've been making a lot of noise this morning. Hopefully that won't pick up on the audio too much. I know the traffic noise out front comes through, just part of the fun of living where I live. I was going to note that I decided yesterday to put a little spot of glue on the bookstore door here. Once I got everything assembled, the only point of attachment for that is a peg that goes in the bottom. So the door was like flopping out like that. I just resorted to my old friend Elmer's and ran a little bit right here along the seam and pushed it together, and it seems to be holding pretty well. So, like I said earlier, if it was me, I would wire up the LEDs at this point. But the instructions are telling me to work on the roof, so that's what we're going to do. Looks like I got a couple of little fingerprints on the transparencies here, so I'm just going to try and clean that a bit before something gets put on top of it and it becomes inaccessible and permanent. Notice how wiggly everything still is. I'm hoping that when I get the other exterior walls up, it'll be more stable. That looks a little better. Okay, so we have some more transparent pieces. Looks like they go into the roof trusses like so. Oh, I have that backwards. That's why you always test fit things before you put it on permanently. There's a little punch out here in the middle. I'm just going to knock that out before we go along. Oh, backwards again. Just kind of helping that in a little bit. There we go. All right. A lot of schmutz on there. Okay, and now for the other side. All right, it's not a great fit, but there are some other structural pieces that go on that'll hopefully, again, help hold it together, or at least do the illusion. So I got pieces of B1 and B4. Ah, I see. Okay, and I'm going to get the marker and color in some of these edges so that it doesn't so obviously look like wood. Be right back. All right, assembly time. Now, if I'm understanding this correctly, the first step is to lock down the centerpiece. Ah, that helps if I orient it the right way. without pressing too hard on it. I don't want to break anything at this juncture. And I think that's together. Now for this side. Come on. All right, there we are. I'm not liking this fitment too much here. That leaves quite a gap, and to my mind should be more like that. I may run a bead of glue along there later. We'll see how it fits together after I add a few more pieces. Again, maybe when I start putting more exterior stuff onto it, that'll get pushed together more. All right, next, these little yellow adhesive squares in here are evidently to help organize the wiring. The diagram here shows one of these squares going on our wiring trunk here. I don't know that this is strictly necessary, but it's in the instructions, so we'll do it. I can never get this backing paper to come off. Doesn't matter if it's plastic or one of these things. I just don't have the fingernails to do it, I guess. There we go. Ah, there's actually two little pieces here, and it's just showing one strip coming off. So I guess I don't need that one. Okay. Next page. Okay, I have done a little pre-assembly off camera, so we can just go into putting this together. This is the second exterior wall. I had to snap in these little window frames and apply these decals. Oh, that one's bubbled a bit. That's better. And these will be visible through the windows for the bookshop here, obviously. Alright, locks into these lugs here. In theory. There we get a snap. Okay. This sort of thing makes me nervous. I'm always afraid if I push too hard, it'll all just collapse. This is the make or break. I don't know why this side here is being so difficult, but the top and bottom piece each is... there goes the bottom. But this top piece is being stubborn. I don't understand. Okay. The upper layer here, I don't know if this is showing up, but the upper layer here on the peg has peeled up a bit and is blocking it. There we go. It's not a perfect fit. If you can see this, there's still a little chunk that didn't go in, but I don't think I want to mess around with it. All the pegs are together. And we've got a structure. There we go, looking down our alleyway. Arcade dating, where romance and life intertwine. Yeah. Okay, next up is this piece, which is an archway. Again, I've pre-assembled this stuff. This was a bit of cardstock. So like the back of the sign went in first, the cardstock then attached to that. Okay, looks like this goes on the back side fitting into this slotted piece here, if that's visible. Maybe? Ah, okay. I thought this faced out. Evidently, it goes in like this. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay. Pivots onto this peg here. And there we go. It seems to be fairly solid. And now we get to an interesting part. There is a mirror which fits into here at an angle. You can see the slot. That'll create the illusion of this alley going back quite a ways. I'm going to guess that this one transparency that I've been worried about being backwards will show in that mirror. It's a little weird because the books or posters or whatever these are supposed to be behind the transparency, their printing will be reversed, but let's see how it all works. So the mirror. Alright, the mirror has another protective sheet on it. Let's see if I can get this off without embarrassing myself. There it goes. I'll just give that a little wipe down and be sure. So that fits into these two slanted slots here somehow. Hopefully this isn't scratching the hell out of it. There we go. Wasn't going down quite all the way to the bottom, so I just worked at it with our little pointy bits here. And that works quite well. As you can see, it makes the alleyway look much deeper than it actually is. Like there's a corner that you go around and it goes farther back. That's pretty neat, actually. I like that little illusion. There is a line of light there at the bottom of the mirror that kind of spoils the illusion a bit, but I'm thinking that might be okay when I get the back panel in place. I don't really see any way to make it fit any flatter. I think it's down as far as it's going to go. I wonder if that would be worth maybe putting a bead of silicone or something there to help seal that. I'll give that some thought. Yeah, I don't think that's going down any flatter. All right, a few more pieces to assemble from the D template. Some of these pieces have already fallen out. There's D7. I'm just going to go ahead and take this off the template right now and toss that aside. Excuse me. Okay, and this is actually a structural piece. This is the battery case that is going to be, you won't see this, but even so, I'll sand the edges down to do it right. This piece of sandpaper is almost gone. I hope the project's nearly finished. This isn't looking right to me. Hopefully I can. Direction does matter on these things. I guess the little numbers are supposed to face outward. That looks better. The pieces are more aligned now. Hopefully I didn't just screw up the integrity of the box. Interesting. Functions like a key, I suppose. Locks into place. Not quite sure why, but I guess it'll make sense. And here we are at last with the electronic box for the LEDs. I've got another Octone, so I need to pay attention. Okay. So it looks like the switch goes to the right, the screw on the battery panel goes to the left. Fits into the box like so. There we go. Voila. Okay, it appears that the instructions are asking me to thread the wiring up through this hole and then down through this little slot here, which seems a bit odd to me, but okay, I'll give it a try and see what happens. There are times when I quite frankly can't figure out stuff like this. I never was very good at geometry or, back in wood shop, or a metal shop rather, trying to figure out how things bend, that kind of thing. I guess I just don't have a mind for geometry. Okay, so okay. I guess there is space to do it. I wasn't sure there was enough. So as I read the instructions, you pull that all the way through. Bring the box up. And then that's evidently where this strange little thing comes into play that I wondered what that was about. I guess it turns to hold it in. That doesn't seem... There's something there that I am missing. That does not seem secure enough to me, but maybe something will present itself. All right, and it looks like the next steps are about continuing the structure of it, is, you know, getting away from the wiring yet again. That really does not seem sufficient to me to hold that all in place. If this gets rotated, it falls through the hole. Is that right? Oh, I see. It has to work like that so that you can change the batteries after you get the cover on. All right, I understand. So this gets a back wall. You have to be able to get this assembly out to change batteries. Okay. That makes more sense. Kind of a rickety setup, I think, but it at least makes sense to me now. Okay. Just tuck that stuff under there for the time being. And now we cover it all up. Here's the back panel. Damn, broke another one. I don't know why that's an issue all of a sudden. Probably just operator error on my part. And there's the wiring just sticking out the bottom. Okay, and now that that back panel is in place, the line of light at the bottom of the mirror that I was concerned with is now covered. So that works out okay. All right, and it looks like we're going into the final stages now. We're going to start assembling the archway that goes here. F1. Assuming that I can find that. All right, I had gotten a little ahead of myself disposing of the templates. There was this piece still remaining on that sheet. It wasn't as empty as I had thought, but I've retrieved it now. We're doing all right. Okay, these little bits of ornament are pretty delicate. I can just imagine myself putting my finger through one of these bits of filigree, so I'm going to be very careful. Another Octun! Exclamation point. I have the Arcade Dating label here. Honestly, I don't care that much about whether or not something like that shows. Uh, there's enough branding on everything as it is. And I like to have a little more realistic of an environment. So I'm thinking I may just disobey the instructions and put that to the back. Assuming that the piece will fit the same. Sometimes they're shaped a little bit differently. And you have to go with the recommended orientation. But I don't think that matters in this case. And the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, I don't care about the branding. I'm going to do that, I think. And there we go. This is interesting. At this point, we've got some corbels and some backing pieces. They're plastic. It's like Legos, which is strange, where most of this kit has been the MDF. All of a sudden now to have some plastic pieces seems a little strange. Yeah, it looks like they do in fact fit together like Legos, so just like that. Again, there is a little burr on here, even though I'm not taking it off of a spine. And I just scuffed up that surface pretty good. Hopefully it won't be too noticeable. And that's what I get for trying to improve things. Anybody know if I can get a white marker? I suppose I could paint it. That's probably more effort than I want to go to. Yeah, that's scratched in the actual finish. So, remember kids, if you build this kit, do not do what I just did, because you scratch the hell out of it. Interesting. I need some more of those adhesive dots. But at this point, I'm not sure if I have any left. If you'll remember, I had a couple of them fail on me. There is one. I had some more laying around somewhere. But maybe I used them all. So at this point, I need to maybe give some thought to finding another option there. I don't know if Michael's craft store would have anything like that. Maybe on Amazon. I might take a little time and do some research on that. So, if you will excuse me, I will go see what I can find out about adhesive dots. So I've been considering the adhesive dot situation. I don't think I want to bother going shopping for dots. And I also I considered using Mr. Elmer yet again. I wasn't sure if that would work, binding MDF to plastic. But necessity and the mother of invention and all of that. Turns out I've got quite a few of these little adhesive strips left over. And they're The short size, I think, is about the same width as one of these corbels. So I am just going to use one of those, and hopefully that'll suffice. That one I think is probably worn out. So just lay that on there. And I've already attached this other one with my last remaining dot. So I guess it turns out I only lost one dot after all. And actually these Lego style bits seem to lock in pretty well. The adhesive is just probably a bit of overkill, I think, but and there we go. It doesn't show around the edge or anything, so that worked out just fine. All right. Okay, we're coming up to the end fast here, guys. D2, these two final bits. Another empty template. Alright, and these are fixed with some more adhesive strips. Like so. I read ahead in the book to make sure they were not the basically that I was going to run out of shorts the short size if I did that with the corbel, and it's using the longer strips, 3 on each. Oh, I think I did this off camera. This is another decal that affixes here. This is the power button to turn the lights on and off. I don't. That seems a little Rube Goldberg to me. There's a piece that attaches here that I guess will detect when you press on it. I'm a little dubious about that. I may have to come up with something else. But you know, they've sold plenty of these kits, so what do I know? And the instructions show these adhesive strips are supposed to overlap this button decal. Which makes sense. I don't think placement on these has to be too precise. Naturally, it's going to give me a problem. There we go. if this one's going to work. Got a little cocky there, buddy. Yeah, you can see it peeled off the adhesive right here. Damn. Well, we'll improvise on that one. Supplement that with a medium-sized strip that I have left over. Alright. Alright, evidently that's supposed to be a little bit of a foot. Lifting it up a bit there. Those adhesive strips are really going to get on my nerves. Well, I think I got the placement on that wrong. Hopefully I can pry this off without breaking it. Oh, wow. Yeah, notice there's a line right there. That's one thing I found with this kit, is that everything has a marking if you look for it. I may have just ruined the adhesive. I'll see if I can re-stick it. This piece may get elmered. I think that's okay. A hair crooked, that will drive me crazy until the end of time, because that's how I roll. But here we are. I'm getting overeager, I guess. Alright, there we go. Doesn't look too bad, I guess, even though this one's a little bit crooked, but it's okay, I guess. I don't know what I'll do about it now anyway, but... Alright, and then that fastens on the front of our arcade. And I'm nervous about the wires, I have to try to keep that out of the way. This seems like another situation where the order of operation is maybe a little odd. Probably would have made more sense to stick this piece on first and then do these column facades. And there we go. So what do you think? It is a little crooked. It's sticking out a bit here. But I guess it's not too bad. Alright, we're getting close. Only a couple of steps remain, and then it's time to do the wiring. There we go, that's getting tighter now. This roof line is still, if anything, that's even worse now that it's kind of been squeezed. I don't like that at all. I might try to figure out how to glue that down. Or just push it together like that. There we go. Yeah, that's still not right. I don't like that. So, final steps are basically to put these decorative pieces around the sides. And then I'm going to hold off on that until I can try to glue this piece. And then all that's left after that is wiring up the LED package. Hopefully that'll work okay. And then a couple of final finishing touches. And we'll be done with our first book nook. So that will be in the next exciting episode. So I hope you'll come back to see how it all ends up. And in the meantime, I'm going to go take my afternoon walk. Have a good one, guys.